I was really elated when I joined Deloitte. I informed about this to my parents back at home, and more than me, it was them who got really happy. And getting to learn so much at a company like Deloitte is like getting paid for your uni. When you go to your uni, you pay for the fee, but now it's the other way around. I get to work and learn, and I'm getting paid. It's obviously more intense than doing just a degree. I had this long job hunt which wasn't going in any great direction, and that's where you came in. I would say Deloitte, I tried applying for this company since the time I graduated. It was not that I've applied just once. Based on your strategies, I tailored my CV and did all the things that you mentioned, and those things really helped. Then I applied for a job at Deloitte with a referral. This time I got a call and I had 3 rounds of interview. Then I got a job. It took me like 4 or 5 months to get my first job, and that was through a referral. It was purely out, me knowing someone, and that's how I got a job. My initial thought was to always work in a big company and a good role. It was actually my friend who started working, and I got a great glimpse of how things work there, and that's how I applied. Oh yeah, now since I've worked, it's like every month I would say I get a offer for some good role, and that's like 50-60k more than what I am currently paid. So it's like good money and good working environment and good career path as well. You get to learn so much which you wouldn't have otherwise learned at any other place. Like I get to meet the finance heads and CFOs and all those big people who you even working for them would never be able to talk to them. You get to talk and meet the best of the people and learn from them. You can't just put a monetary value on this experience and this learning. Out of all the firms that I've worked at, even if sometimes you have to put in the extra hours, I think it's worth it because the people around you are awesome, they're fantastic, and they appreciate your time. You get recognized, which is what keeps me working hard. My next job also was through a referral. He in fact created a position for me, and that's how I got my next job as well. I had applied for a job at Deloitte consistently for a few months. Initially, I didn't have the right skill set. Not just that, my approach was also not the best approach. My resume was not on point. The way I talked in the interviews and the way I answered the questions was not up to the mark. And that's something I learned from your program. I understood how to actually formulate a CV that's very relevant in big organizations. I actually got a lot of compliments the way I edited my CV. Everyone would say, your CV looks really nice. And that's the first part, because people first look at the CV and then they decide if we progress this candidate. And getting the first part right is very crucial. So that's something which I learned over the course of time. And I've in fact helped a friend through a referral. I talked to a director and she had the relevant experience. Then it was from there that she got a job. Because people don't realize that you're talking to directors and different people in the organization can actually get a job. I think your program gives a very great advice in terms of how to go about that. I would say simplest way is through LinkedIn. Just reach out to as many people as you can. The first step is to get your resume and your CV right. And for me, it was only the resume which worked, because the way I had edited my resume, it got the HR's eye. And next day I got a email from her. She asked for a date for an interview. I actually was networking with different people. I had a chance to speak with a partner of some small firm, and he also invited me over for a coffee, but then I had to cancel because then before that I got a job. But then this trick also definitely works. I would say put on your networking hat and meet as many people as you can, because they will get you hired in most cases. One piece of advice that I have for people is, if they're struggling to get a job, don't give up on it, because sometimes time might not be right for you and things might not be aligned, and you can factor that out from your chances by just not giving up and working on yourself and improving as you go. Don't get disheartened by a rejection, because that's a normal part, and just keep working for your dream. I think your program covers a lot of these things, and it was helpful in terms of knowing how to edit your resume for the right company, especially tailoring your resume for a specific company. That really helps. Interview tips, I think that also Your program is very extensive in covering all of those things. When I was going through my interview, I learned a lot of those questions. I had like a lot of reads of those questions, and those really helped me even boost my confidence in the interviews. Just getting the right preparation and having the courage and the confidence in yourself, that also is very crucial. And that just comes from practicing and learning. I think you're the master, so you can most likely help everyone who was seeking for a job, focusing on what job you want in the long term, have an end goal where you want to achieve, and then work to get to that goal. Your program covers all of these things in detail in terms of how to have set a goal and how to work for that goal. And obviously, since you have the mentoring sessions, that's a great plus point, and will give you an environment talking to different people and candidates that kind of gives you an environment, learn from everyone's experience, and that's a great booster in getting a job. Learning from everyone's experience and getting on those sessions is really helpful. That was a great motivator for me as well. Also, you make new friends. The final words would be to go through your program well, and definitely your tricks help, and the way you coach people also is really crucial, so pay attention to that. And just don't get disheartened by rejections. So that's a part of the process, and just learn from your mistakes and apply for jobs with a new approach, and just stay motivated.